And we are live on today's episode of Homemaking with Purpose. I am once again joined by my friend Leona of Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme in the kitchen as we talk about the Thanksgiving home.
Mm.
We will be sharing with you some of the strategies that we use to host Thanksgiving and not be crazy in the process. And whereas the focus for this week is preparing your home for Thanksgiving, we will answer your questions. So if you've got some questions, save them up and we will answer those as time allows. So hey Leona, how you doing?
Hello. I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. It's a little chilly, but hey, it's good. It's all good.
All right. Now you say it's a little chilly. It was 26 degrees here. That's cold.
I know. Just thinking about that makes me cold. And you even had the white flakes falling.
Exactly. But one
Ah,
question I do have for you right off the bat. Last week, when we said hello to our viewers, I mentioned that you had a printable that you had to share. And I think
mhm.
I forgot to circle back to it before we got off the show. So do you want to share that now and tell people how they can pick up the printable? Because like I said, I when I was reviewing the notes, I was like, oh, we can talk about the printable.
Well, yes. In fact, and that's something I don't think I gave you. I have my new website. And on the website, the printable is located there. And so I'm hoping that people will go there. You'll have a chance to take a look at it. If you have suggestions of things that you think we could add to it, I'm sure that with all of these homemakers and home cooks and wannabes, all of us are in there. And so certainly, as we think of new things, I will update it and have it ready for all of us to be able to use, not only for Thanksgiving, but anytime we want to get ready for a party.
Okay. Well, listen, I think you can type it in the comments.
Mhm.
I'm not sure. If you
I
can,
can.
type it in the comments and then people can see the link to where they need to go.
Okay.
And I'll try to remember to pull it up too. Tell me
Okay.
what it was again, and I'll try to find
Hold
it.
on a second. I'll let me get that ready. I've got it.
And while you're typing that up, we've got Sally from Covington Creek who's here. And she says she's been looking forward to this discussion. She likes to decorate for October, November, and December. And then here you are, thanking everybody for joining us. And then Two Warm Feet says, hello and happy, healthy holidays at home. I like that. I
Now,
just
what's
love
her
that.
name?
Yes. And Two Warm Feet, what is your name? We like to call each other by name. So, like, for example, Covington Creek at home, we know her name is Sally. She's saying hello to all of us. And Shania said it's been a minute since she's been on a live, so we're glad she's here with us today.
Good.
And Tammy, hello. You're not at church tonight, so I'm glad you were able to be. I think she ended up having like Bible study or something on Wednesday
Mhm.
night, so she's
Mhm.
not always able to come. So I'm glad you were able to join us. Hey, Ann,
Tracy.
and there's Sue H. Hello, Sue. And then here is Leona's website so that you can get the printables that she talked about. It's Ebony Ivy Time with Leona Dooley, and the address is mailchimpsites.com. So
Mhm.
check that out. And remind me to pull that up later on in the show, okay?
Okay.
Do
Okay.
that. And then we've got Ann, Deb Whitmore, and then Ann said hello, Deb said hello, and then Kim is here. And what's not
Yay.
your Kim, is it?
No, not my Kim.
And then Annette is here as well as Patricia is here. So hello, ladies.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, hello. And we're going to go ahead and get started. And then we'll circle
Mhm.
back and say hello to people too, because we don't want to keep you guys waiting. So, first of all, one of the things that we want to talk about as we jump right into the content is how to get your home prepped for the holiday. And I do have a printable that I'm going to try to get to you. It's not available tonight, but let's see if I can pull it up. And if not, I'll just talk it through. But I'm going to share the screen here.
Mhm.
And this is the printable. So for the first thing that I'm thinking that you're going to want to do is have a thinking and planning day. That's going to be day one. And the printable is 21 days to get your house ready for the holidays. And whereas we're talking Thanksgiving, this could be any holiday. So
Mhm.
let's say on day one, which is 21 days before the preparation, you're going to have a thinking and planning day. And Leon, I know you do a lot of thinking and planning in that little B6 of yours, but you're going to be looking at who's coming, adults, children, babies, like who's coming, whether or not they're staying at your house, any special needs or circumstances. And then you'll want to do a quick walk around, checking for minor repairs or needed cleaning in your home. Decide where the children's table will be placed. And I think it's a good idea if you figured that out, like when you're doing your planning, so
Mhm.
that when the time comes to get it out, you already know where it's going to go.
Mhm.
And then determine whether or not any items need to be temporarily moved out, and then make a to-do list. So, Leon, I want you to jump in here on this to-do list.
Well, absolutely on that to-do list. You also want to think about entertainment for the holiday, as well as little games or things that if you have little people staying at the house, what will they do? So
Mhm.
you may have a couple of board games or something like that that they could play and play quietly, and they could even play in their room, wherever it may be, and um, I thought about you there are certain things that you might need to pick up, such as toilet paper, extra paper towels, extra soap. All those kind of things are at this point early enough that you can probably get them and get them on sale, which would be
Mhm.
really nice.
Right, exactly, exactly. And then Tracy is two warm feet. Her name is
Mhm.
Tracy, so that's why I
Trace.
popped her up there so we
Okay.
can remember that that's who she is. So, okay,
Mhm.
so I like those thoughts about board game. That wasn't something I had thought of, so I'm glad that you introduced that because, yeah, we do need to be concerned about all the people that are coming to visit, and we certainly don't want those children to be bored.
No,
And
no,
if
no.
you've got little people, like very little children, like babies coming, then
Mhm.
if the mothers need to put them down, where are they going to put them? And we don't want them putting them on adult beds or on the sofa or on chairs, anything like that, because those are suffocation hazards. So
Mhm.
we'll want to have a place somewhere where we can make a nice firm pallet on the floor where they
Mhm.
can put them, unless you already have a packing plate that you borrowed or
Right.
purchased for that particular day.
Mhm.
So the second item on the list then is serveware. And this is going to be day two or 20 days prior to Thanksgiving. And I like looking over the serveware that I've got to see
Mhm.
what's needed. And then typically I might be looking at the turkey platter, the turkey roaster, um, any kind of serving spoons or forks,
Mhm.
that kind of thing. And
Mhm.
then the big thing now, well, not anymore, but I used to think, am I going to use my good dishes, my good china, or am I going to get some holiday themed paper plates
Mhm.
and napkins and that kind of thing? Now I get some holiday themed paper goods. I don't get out the good
There
china
you go.
anymore. If I got more than six people, I just can't. I just can't. You gotta watch my hands. Like I'm doing themed paper plates and things like that.
Mhm.
And I will also get those serveware, those special pieces out. I will get them out of the
Mhm.
cabinet, get them on the table in the dining room so I can really look them over, give them a good wash up if I need to do that. And then you mentioned flatware the other day about not having enough. I'll also check out, okay, how much flatware do I need? Or if I'm
Mhm.
using disposable utensils, how much do I
Mhm.
need to get? And then I'll
Mhm.
make a list of my purchase needs. So any suggestions on how to determine what's
You
needed?
That's true.
Yeah,
Uh,
a new homemaker and they've never hosted before. How do they know what they need?
they don't. And the thing of it is that as you're picking up, especially your plasticware, um, pick up more than what you think you need. And also think about the fact that if you have people staying at your house, then you're going to want to more than likely have plasticware available, for their lunch and the snack and those kind of things to save yourself, because you do not want additional work. And sometimes your guest will come and they will be very helpful, help with the washing of dishes. And then sometimes you have those guests who will come and they find a nice little comfy chair, and that's as far as they go. So we love them all, but that's the truth.
Yes,
And
that
so
is true.
because of that, typically I'll pick up like that Dixie pack of Ultra of 100 plates. And those are for the everyday leading up to the holiday or after, because some of the guests aren't going to leave on that Thursday. They're going to leave that either that Saturday or Sunday.
Mhm.
And so, you're going to want to be able to use, something disposable to help.
I like that idea about getting more than what you think you're going to need.
Mhm,
I'm one who has sometimes been caught out not having enough, particularly since I've just started using the disposable products. But
mhm,
yeah, because you can go through a lot of flatware
mhm,
in a pretty short amount of time.
mhm,
And even if you're running the dishwasher, you get tired of running the dishwasher. So
mhm,
having those extra disposable items on hand is a good idea. So you might want to have some that you set aside specifically for the holiday, and then
exactly.
have the others that you have that's just for everyday, all
Mhm,
the little meals and snacks and different things that we're going to be running through.
ex
Okay, day 3, we're going to be looking at holiday linens. And again, this is like 19 days prior to Thanksgiving.
mhm,
So I like to get out my holiday linens, get out my good tablecloths, check
mhm,
them out to see if I got any stains in them, throw them in the wash if I need to, and then iron them. Now, it used to be when my daughter was home, I would ask her to iron the tablecloth, and
mhm.
she hated it. You would have thought that I was, I don't know what you would have thought, but she hated ironing the tablecloth. So then when she left home, my youngest son was here, so he would have to iron the tablecloth.
Mhm.
And he hated it. When he got engaged and brought his fiance home that first year for Thanksgiving, he had
Mhm.
her iron the tablecloth because he didn't want to have to do it. And funny thing, he did tell me not too long ago was that ironing that tablecloth taught him how to iron the backdrops for his
Mhm.
photography business. So it did
Ah.
come in handy. But I like to get those out. I will get them ironed up, and then I
Mhm,
will drape them over the sofa in the living room because we're
mhm,
rarely ever in there. And so I'll put them over a sofa that we don't sit on very often. Because
mhm,
once I've got them ironed, I don't want to have too many creases in them. So I'll fold them in half or in quarters and
mhm.
put them over there. If you need to, you could probably hang them up. But it's like once I get them ironed, I don't want to have to mess with them again. What do
Yeah.
you do for your linens?
Well, for the larger tablecloths, I need at least a 120 or larger. And
Hmm.
so because of that, we have a little cleaners that's $1.99. So
Hmm.
I send it to the cleaners. But because it's so big that it's hard to handle on the ironing board,
Hmm.
and but everything else, I do by hand. Um, it's always a good thing too to mention, especially to our new homemakers, that a bottle of spray starch goes a long way,
Hmm.
because if you can starch it, that also helps to keep some of those stains out of the
Ooh,
tablecloth.
I
And
didn't
so
know that.
so you just give it a good starch, and as you're ironing, and that will help to alleviate some of the stains that you might have. But to be honest with you, I am a proponent of using the chargers, and even I have an additional placemat. They're
Mm.
decorative, but still, it helps to keep some of those things off of your tablecloths. I like white, and
Yeah.
I want it to stay white. And so I try everything I can to avoid any spills.
Okay. Well, day 4. 18 days prior to your holiday, is to decorate your entryway. And you may think that's a little early, but I don't, because I like to get that entryway decorated on day 4. And then on day 5, I like to decorate the porch, the front
Mhm.
porch, because then that way you can enjoy your decor for at
Mhm.
least 2 or 3 weeks prior
Mhm.
to the holiday. And those kind of things, they take time, but once
They do.
they're up, and they don't usually require any additional maintenance.
Mhm. Now, let me ask you this. Do you decorate, thinking Thanksgiving, do you decorate for Christmas or do you decorate for fall? Or do you have kind of a crossover type of decoration that kind of leads you into the next holiday?
I decorate for Thanksgiving, which is
Mhm.
fall. So I will do
Mhm.
pumpkins and maple leaves and those kinds of things. I'll decorate for Thanksgiving in the entryway and on the front porch, have those little
Mhm.
harvest home signs
Mhm.
and pumpkins and all those kinds of things, because it works for both fall and Thanksgiving, and I can
Mhm.
leave them up. One year, my pumpkins were frozen by the time my family got here for the holiday, but it was all right. And
Mhm.
then I will take those down a couple days after Thanksgiving, and then I will decorate for Christmas. Well, my
Mhm.
youngest son's birthday is a couple of weeks before Christmas, so we would always wait until close to time for his birthday, decorate for Christmas, and then there would be Christmas decor in his birthday pictures,
Mhm.
and we would take them down fairly quickly after, like after the first, because my husband
Mhm.
was a school teacher. He wanted all that stuff down so he could get everything up in
Yes.
the attic before he had to go back to school.
Mhm.
So we didn't have things up very long. But yes,
Mhm.
I decorate for Thanksgiving and then again for Christmas. Now, I
Mhm.
will tell you, he was cleaning out the garage the other day and he put up 2 of my bins of fall decor that I didn't even have a chance to use yet. And he was like, "Look, I'm trying to get this garage cleaned up. If you need him, I'll get him back down. Now, what
Mhm.
about that stuff in the hallway and on the door? Do you still want that up?" I'm like, "That's our fall decor. It's only been up for a week." Like, "Yes, we're still using it."
Yes. Oh, well, see, I decorate. I do fall, and we've got fall up now, but I have already started decorating for Christmas because our company that comes at Thanksgiving typically are people who are from out of town that I know I'm not going to see again
Mhm.
until whenever, and so we typically decorate for Christmas because what we try to do the day after Thanksgiving is to have some type of little Christmassy celebration while they're there. And so, for that reason, we have I've had a touch of fall, but Christmas is in the air by the time Thanksgiving comes.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's ask our guests, what are their
Mhm.
thoughts so far? Are you guys finding this conversation helpful? And while you're typing in your thoughts, we're going to check out the chat, because apparently the chat, as Walter used
Mhm.
to say, the chat is hopping.
It is.
Say hello to folks and we'll see who's here. So there's Wendell Johnson is saying hi. So hi,
Mhm.
Wendell. I
Hi,
think you're
Kendall.
new here. I don't remember that person ever joining us before. And here's Tamara.
Hi,
Oh my gosh,
Tamara.
2 weeks in a row, her 2 faves. Yes, Tam, we are so glad. And we're going to be here next week too. Leona, tell them what we're doing next week.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. Next week, if I remember right, we are back in the kitchen. And what we are going to do is that we're going to set a tentative menu and we're going to walk you through the order that you should be working in your kitchen in order to accomplish your meal and to do it pretty stress free. So I think that's going to be a great time to be able to look at, because so often so many home cooks have a problem with they know they have things to do, but they get stressed because they're doing it all out of order. And so, there are just some things that we can do in a certain order that will help to smooth the process out. So that's what we're going to be working on next week.
So, what I want you guys to see right now that I've got up here on the screen is this poll that I put up on my community tab. And we've had 179 votes, and 9% wanted to know how to roast a turkey. 34% of you wanted to know what to do first, second, and third. So that's what Leona just told you. We're going to talk about that next week. And then we're talking about how to accommodate a house full of guests. That's something else they wanted to hear about. And then how to budget for Thanksgiving dinner for 10 to 20 people. We did talk about that last week, and we can answer a few questions on that tonight if we need to, but we got you covered. So, okay, so what are people saying over here? So, Evelyn Mitchell. Hey, Evelyn.
Hey.
She's thanking us for her content. She said she used the 21 days planning for holidays last year.
Last year, good, good.
For you, good. And who? Look, there's Ethel. Hello, Ethel. You know, she always calls me her best friend, Lucy, and I call her Ethel. And so, hey, Lucy, she's a Lucy Ricardo fan. And then I do crazy things. She said, you know, you're having some Lucy moments. So now I'm Lucy. I have had several Lucy moments, I must admit. And then there is our sister, Stephanie.
Hello, Stephanie.
Thank you so much for helping us out. We've had to call her a couple times because we're trying to figure out how to get some things connected, and she helped us sort that out. So there is Christy. Hi, Christy. And again, so Hillary says, if sending leftovers home with guests, purchase throwaway takeout containers. If you don't want your good storage, yes, if you don't want your good storage containers to leave the house, never to be seen again. And I'm going to have to be sure to do that because I don't have any storage containers that I can send out of the house. I've just gotten rid of all of them, all my Gladware and all of that. So on that to-do list at the top, when you're making your list, purchase some takeout containers, because even though you tell your family members to bring some takeout containers, folks that forget. So Stephanie says, yes, she gets double of what she thinks she might need. And you know, Stephanie, Thanksgiving is going to be tough for you this year. We're going to all have to be thinking of you at this time. Yeah. So Tammy says she decorates for fall in September, and then in November she'll add pilgrims and turkeys, and then she puts her tree up this year before. She may put her tree up before Thanksgiving. We would always put ours up the day after Thanksgiving. We would put up the tree. At least if we were going to. My mom, they always put theirs up the day after Thanksgiving, but we would try to wait until closer to my son's birthday. But now, since I've started doing YouTube, I'll put it up sooner than later.
That's true. That's true.
Let's see. Robbie said, yes, she loves the list. So good. Good. I'll make sure you get it. And this is Charlene from California. Charlene, you're not late. Char, you're not late. You're
about that.
We're so glad you're here with us tonight.
Yay.
And then Terry doesn't decorate for fall. She has her Christmas decorations up at Thanksgiving. You know, a lot of people do that. A lot of people do that. So, hey, that's all right. Hey, there's Ronnie Weaver.
Hi, Ronnie.
You know what? When we do these lives, we see people we haven't seen for a while. Anita says she decorates for fall and then Christmas. She loves the season.
Absolutely.
And then let's see. Nanny J and Tammy are talking about, they're both in Alabama. Nanny's in North Alabama. Tammy's in Central. For those of you near Kroger, many Thanksgiving staples are on sale. And yes, they are. I was going to pull up a Kroger ad later on when we get to talking about budget. And then Shar said she loves our channel. So thank you.
Oh, that's sweet.
And thank you, Ethel. She says, love my crazy friend Lucy. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I don't know if you have a Kroger in Alabama. I've only been to Alabama once, so I can't tell you about that.
I have no idea.
So now Charlene says, Char says she does that, so she has less leftovers to put away, and then everyone gets some for later. So yes.
Absolutely.
And Hillary says, which is Lucy, not Lucy, but Ethel, she said, young homemakers, if you aren't used to doing a big holiday meal, if any guests offer to bring a dish, let them. Not only let them, but ask them.
Ask them.
Ask them to
Absolutely.
bring a gift. And while we're talking about the ask them to bring a gift, I mean, to
Mhm.
bring a dish, Leona, if you could just jump in one more time, like you did
Yeah.
last week, when the people say to that young homemaker, "Oh, you ought to have this and that, and I would love it if you would make this or that." You've already got your menu planned because remember, we're trying to
Mhm.
get ready and not be crazy. Can you share some words on what they can do nicely?
You want to be as nice as possible, and you certainly appreciate their thoughts, and you want to let them know that you say, "Oh, that sounds wonderful. Would you mind preparing that for us and bring that with you?" And put it back in on them to be able to bring that because you have a budget and you have a plan. And so that's a nice way to be able to include and to let others bring their signature dish. And so I know on Monday, that was one of the things we talked about was the fact that we want to allow everyone to share in the joy of the holiday, which
Mhm.
means when you make the guest list and you're calling every touching base with everyone and talking to them, say, this is the menu. Would you mind selecting something on the menu and preparing it for me so that I won't have so much to do? And 9 times out of 10, they will participate and be a part of that and
Mhm.
have a number for them so they'll have an idea as to how many to bring, how much food to bring. Because I can
Exactly.
tell you, I do have a story with that. My second Thanksgiving, I asked a person to bring this particular salad that they normally fix. Well, when they came with the salad, now we had about 25 people. When they came with the salad was about this big, and needless to say, it was barely enough for that person. So, and I know I said we have a large group, we're going to have about 25 people. So you would think it would have translated to say, make a mega size, but it didn't. And so after that, I was very specific and say, now listen, I need for you to bring at least a 9 by 13 of whatever it is.
Mhm.
And so, we have to be able to let everyone join in and be a part of that day.
Exactly. Okay. All right. So day 6 and 7 is related to cleaning the bedroom. So on day 6, let me pull that
Mhm.
up again. Day 6 is going to be cleaning the guest rooms. Let me find it. There we go. So day 6
Mhm.
is cleaning guest bedroom 1. And
Mhm.
then day 7 is cleaning guest bedroom 2. And then, so that means make sure that the dresser, the chest, and any tabletops are clear of clutter. Dust and
Mhm.
wipe down the surfaces, strip the beds, and launder the linens. And if you've got 2 guest rooms, go ahead and strip both the beds and wash
Mhm.
the linens at the same time. And then
Absolutely.
get those bedrooms thoroughly clean. And then you've got a couple of options. One is put out your welcome kit, which should include a box of Kleenex, a bottle of lotion, and then some bottled water. Because these days you can only bring that little teeny weeny bottle of lotion on the airplane. So just put in, some Jergens lotion or some, I don't know, just any kind of generic lotion, something that you would want to use yourself, but set it in there so they can use that, and then some water. And then you can either remake the bed and lay fresh towels on the bed, or put the fresh sheets just kind of folded on the bed, and then maybe make
Mm.
the bed a couple of days before the company automatically comes. Because on day 6, we still got about 2 weeks out. And if you think, well, if I
Mhm.
make the bed 2 weeks out, it's not going to be fresh. Well, it might be and it may not be. It's up to you as to how you want to manage that. But if you think it won't be fresh, then just put the folded sheets on the bed so you already know where they are. Lay the
Mhm.
fresh towels on the dresser, and then you can make the bed later. What do you think, Leon? Do you think making the bed 2 weeks ahead of time is too soon or
I
what?
I do mine a couple of weeks in advance. And
Okay.
the reason for that, and I try to sit on each of the beds. I've purchased 2 baskets that I use, and I have their
Oh.
towels in there. I have
Mhm,
both of their bath towels. I put in for two, assuming two. And of course, if they have children or something like that, I have the children's towels somewhere else.
mhm.
But for the adults, I make a little basket. I had taken the water out, but I typically have several bottles of water that's in here, and sometimes even a little snack, like if I could, now's a good time to get it, to have a little bag full of chocolates or, something like
Mhm.
that, kind of a welcome. And if they are new to the area, very often I have contacted what do you call them? The place where you get all the information
Oh,
about the
visitors.
area. Right. I'll find a little booklet or something that I can pop in there so that they'll know some of the places that they can visit while they're there. And so, just something to say, I was thinking of you, but I do mine at least 2 weeks in advance. And, but I go back and fluff
Mhm.
just before, I know they're coming in. And that seems to work. It seems to work.
Yeah, I
Mhm,
like to do that too. Make it 2 weeks in advance just so that it's done. That's just one
mhm,
less thing that you have to worry about. But if you feel that that's too far in advance, then way down on the end of the list, the day that you work on the children's table is
mhm.
the day that you can make that bed, get everything all smoothed out, and then it's ready to go. But
Denise, one thing too to think about is the fact that it may be that some of our family may have homes where the guest room belongs to someone else. So if the guest room is your son's or your daughter's, you're going to probably have to wait until
yeah.
closer to the holiday to be able to actually switch the room out,
Mhm.
since they're going to have to share with someone else while the guest is there. So that's something to keep in mind. But if you have everything clean and everything sitting there ready to go, then it's just a matter of time to get everything done and
Now,
put
I
into
like the
place.
idea you had then with the basket in that regard because you could put everything you need for that guest in the basket. And because
Mhm,
when we go visit my daughter, if she's hosting a big holiday, that's what happens. Jordan and CJ end up on the floor in their room, and
mhm,
then their bedrooms are turned over for guests. So they have to clean
mhm,
their room, get things ready, and then make the beds and all of that. So I'm
mhm.
I'm sorry I forgot to think of that. But see, that's why we do this together because what I don't think of, you do. So that's a great idea. And then
Mhm.
you have to do that the night before because, kids will
Absolutely.
get out of their room too early.
Mhm,
Okay, so I like to do it well in advance. And like you said, fluff and pat the day
mhm,
before. And then day 8 and 9 is the dining room. Now, if you
mhm,
don't have a dining room, you don't have to worry about that. But I do have a dining room, as many people do. And so on day 8, I like to clean the dining room. So I'm going to vacuum and sweep the floor, clean the table off, make sure there's no clutter sitting around, dust and polish the dining room table, the buffet, and then the china cabinet. That's going to be on day 8. And then on day 9, which is 13 days prior to the holiday, I'm
mhm,
going to decorate. So I'm not going to
mhm.
clean and decorate on the same day
Right,
because
right.
we're making this up. So clean one day, decorate
Mhm,
the next day, and then set the dining room table, do whatever you're going to do to that table. Now,
mhm,
here's a thought. Rather than have all your plates out, you could put your plates on upside down, like get the table
mhm,
set and
mhm.
turn the plates upside down so dust doesn't get in them,
Absolutely.
or put your chargers in place and bring the plates out later. But you could go ahead and put your glassware out, but just
Absolutely. Turned
up-
it down.
upside
Mhm,
down. So
mhm,
when that part is done, have your
mhm.
decor done, and then you're good to go.
That's true. All of that sounds good. Um, with the dining room, there was something else. Um, while you're decorating the dining room, I guess this is a good point too to think about whether you're going to serve at the table or whether you're going to set up a buffet.
Mhm.
And if that's the case, it may be that you have a sideboard that you're going to be using. So they may want to start to set up that sideboard while they're in the process of doing the dining room, so that most of that is already done, other than putting the actual plates and napkins and those kind of things. Plus their bars, if they have a drink bar or, dessert bar, they can set those up as well.
Exactly, exactly. And I've got those further down on the list too. So I'll come to those in a minute. So we looked at the dining room and then the living room. For a lot of us, if you've got a living room and a family room, the living room is one of those least used spaces. I might
Mhm.
sit in there to read, I might sit in there to talk on the phone, and I do my yoga in there. But we rarely sit in there unless
Mhm.
company comes over. Otherwise, we're in the kitchen or we're in the family room. So that's an area that I can get all cleaned up and get ready for company a couple
Mhm.
of weeks ahead, and then just do another quick dust because our house can get pretty dusty. So do another quick dust up before the company gets there, and it's good to go. So I can get that cleaned and decorated ahead of
Oh,
time.
Denise, while I was thinking about it, I saw that Covington Creek at Home was talking about the fresh linens, and what made me really think of that is that if you have a dresser, now this is what I do. I make the guest bed, but then I also have an additional set of linen that is in the dresser. So before they leave or as they're leaving, they strip their bed,
Mhm.
they remake the bed and throw the dirty linens into the laundry room. And so that's something that saves me a lot of time and really is helpful.
Mhm.
And most people don't mind. They don't mind taking the sheets off. They've been there for several days, so they're good with that. So that's
Yeah.
something to keep in mind as well.
And like Sally said, she says, can you put the fresh linens in a dresser in the guest room? Yes. If you have
Mhm,
extra kids, use a sweeper hose on the bed before making closer to guests when the guests will be there.
mhm,
Yeah. If you
mhm,
have pets and the pets get all over the house and even in the guest room, then
mhm,
you might want to run the hose on the bed
mhm,
before making it closer to when the guests get there.
mhm.
And then once you get it all cleaned up, I was going to say shut the door, but you don't want it to be stuffy.
No.
So yeah, you might have to wait till closer to the holiday time when the guests are getting there to do
Mhm.
that. Okay, let's see, where are we? Let's just take a look at some of the comments because as they say, the chat is hopping. So Hillary says BJ's Warehouse has, if you spend $150, you get a free butterball turkey.
Mm.
We don't have that here.
Oh, you don't?
No, that's a
Mm.
good deal though.
Mhm, mhm,
And then Shar says she's always supplied most everything. She needs to ask for help. And that's great
mhm,
advice. She hates inviting people and then asking, but you're right. No, Shar, it's okay. People don't mind bringing something
mhm.
if you ask them. They just need to know ahead of time what's expected. So, yes, do ask for help, especially
Ab
for big holidays like that.
absolutely.
So typically, as the host, you will do the meat. Like maybe you'll do the turkey
Mhm,
or the ham or the goose or
mhm.
whatever. But certainly, other people can bring everything else. So Anne says they don't have Thanksgiving, and she's glad. She says Christmas is enough for her, and she says she doesn't know how we do it. Well, you just do.
You just do it.
So there's Frank. Hey, Frank.
Hi, Frank.
Hey, how you doing?
Good to see you.
Okay.
Oh.
Her mom's birthday is close to Thanksgiving.
Mhm,
Is it bad to include her birthday with Thanksgiving? No. I
mm-mm,
don't think it's
mm-mm,
bad because you can certainly celebrate her on Thanksgiving, take
mhm,
calls for the cause, have
mhm,
sing happy birthday, have a birthday cake for her, and
mhm.
have gifts for her, and
Absolutely.
do two things at once. Otherwise, you're trying to plan two parties close together.
Ooh.
Okay, so we did that one for
Mhm,
Sally.
mhm,
Yes, Joy, I've got to get the list ready. I'm hoping, well, I want you guys to sign up for my newsletter, and I'm working on with my assistant to get the list in the newsletter so that when I email it out, it's in there. So I talked to her about that today. I
mhm,
tried to have I have a link to it, but I tried to get Leona to open it, and she says the link didn't open up. So the link apparently is broken. So we're having to do a workaround. So sign up for my newsletter. The link is in the description box, and we're going to put the newsletter in. Put the list in the newsletter, so you can just have it that way. Is it okay to use plastic dishes that look like real dinnerware? Boom!
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So Tammy says buffet for her house and condiments are on the table.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Okay, let's see. Vicky from South Carolina is here saying hello. Lee says she learned from her grandmother many years ago. She completely set her table ahead of time for convenience. Then she covered the whole thing with a cotton sheet as a dust cover. Boom!
That is perfect.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and especially if you have pets. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you could go ahead and set the table. You wouldn't have to worry about setting them upside down. Now,
That's
when
right.
we do the beverage station, I was going to talk about that. I was going to talk about when you set up the punch bowl and everything and just scraping it with a cloth so that the day of, all you got to do is take the cloth off, fill the bowls, and you're ready to go. But yes, that is an excellent idea. So are you guys picking up these tips? As one guy that I know
Have
that
your notebook.
are you picking up what we're putting down? To me. Are you guys getting these tips? Write them down in your little notebook. You need to have that notebook that Miss Leona showed you last week and put all these good little tips in it.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then Vicky says she serves food buffet style this year. Is what her plan is. She's concerned though that someone may arrive not feeling the best and may not share that prior to fixing their own food. You know what? I don't think there's much that you can do about that because even if they're fixing their own food or not, even if it's not buffet style, they're still fixing their own food unless you're going to plate everything up and carry the plates out. So I think the biggest thing there is just encouraging people to wash their hands or use sanitizer before they go to the buffet or to the table. And you can be discreet about it. You can say, here's some sanitizer. You guys you can just kind of pass it around and people will automatically take it these days and just start using their hands. So, but now parents need to fix the children's plates. You know, kids, if they're under 10, they can't be at the buffet by themselves. Parents have to help because, kids will be there. They'll pick up something, put it back down, and they got their little fingers everywhere. So they need to have their parents help them with that. And Shar says she's loving this. So we are doing some good today, Leona. Okay.
Shar also said that her party city has really nice plates and napkins too.
Oh, okay. I used to go to Michael's or actually Hobby Lobby is where I tend to get those things when they have their 50% off or 40% off sale.
And they're 50% off now.
Okay. Okay. Now, one of the things that I on day 14, when we get down to day 13 is the kitchen. So 12 and 13, we're cleaning the kitchen. And you might think, well, that's almost 2 weeks before Christmas. That's Christmas, before the holiday. So that might be a pretty much of a long time because you're going to be in there every day. But what you're doing now, though, is those things that you don't do all the time. You're really getting into some of those nitty-gritty things that you need to take care of so that when the holiday time comes and you've got people in there helping you clean things up or helping you prepare things, the kitchen is pretty much a clean palette for you to work from. I'm going to forget one Thanksgiving. I have my counter all cute, had these little decorations and things on it. And my sister-in-law was over and she was helping me get the food out and get the counter set up, buffet style. And I was trying to get something arranged around my decor. She says, well, are we going to use that today? And I'm like, no. She said, then move it. And I was like, oh. And we moved it and it was so much nicer not to have that stuff up there on the counter. So kind of get those things cleared up and out of the way so that when you're ready to go to work, you've got the space to do that. And you don't want to be doing that at the last minute.
No, this is a time for the hard clean, what we call the hard clean. You're going to start at the top and work all the way to the bottom. get everything spick and span. And then that way, if there's just something you need to touch up, you're going to move everything off the counters, get behind there, because
Mhm.
let's face it, you never know where your guests are going to be or what they're going to pull out. And it's horrifying to think they will move something and see dust. And
Mhm.
so, that's just something, get that hard clean done early, and then you can light clean later.
And then you got your sister-in-laws or other female relatives maybe in the kitchen with you, helping
Mhm,
to put things out, helping to serve or whatever. And you
mhm,
certainly, like you said, you don't want them moving something and then seeing a pile of dust or some crumbs or something like that.
mm-mm,
This is also the time to clean your stove top
mhm.
and also wipe out your oven. Just
Yes.
kind of do even though you're going to be using it up until the day itself, if you've got it
Mhm,
cleaned up for the most part, and so that the day before, the day of, you just have to wipe out a little bit. You don't want
mhm.
your sister-in-law coming over to put her mac and cheese in your oven to warm it up, and then it looks nasty. So you
Yes.
want to, just kind of clean it up just a little bit. And then on day 13, decorate that kitchen, get it
Mhm,
decorated, and then have it done. And
mm.
then also day 14, you're still in the kitchen, but you're cleaning out that refrigerator. You're going to do a deep clean.
Oh, yeah.
I have to tell you, let me show you this. I was looking on your channel and I'll show you what I found. I think this one is yours. So Miss Leona on her channel has a Thanksgiving planning and shopping playlist. And it looks like there are 13 videos in
Mhm,
this
mhm,
playlist. But look at what I found right here. Refrigerator cleaning for the holiday. You
mhm.
certainly want to be sure to check that out because we do need to get our fridges prepped for the holiday.
Absolutely.
So I will be sure to put the link to this playlist in the description box of this video. But why do we need to get the fridge ready? Well, potato salad's got to go in there.
Mhm,
Maybe you've got a relish tray that needs to go in there. There's
mhm.
other things that you're going to need to go in there in addition to all the extra food that you buy to get ready for
That
the
you
holiday.
got.
So, and
Mhm,
if you haven't guessed, then there's extra orange juice and apple juice and biscuits
mhm,
and whatever it is that you're using. So you're definitely going to want to get those things, get that fridge prepared so you can
mhm.
put stuff in there, as well as the microwave,
Oh, yes.
microwave clean, and the spatter cover,
Yes. Yes.
and the little plate that sits in there. You got to make sure you're getting all that.
Oh, all of that needs to be clean.
Because how many times does a guest use that microwave? Now, let's just see what we got here. Let's see. So Shar says she's loving this.
Mhm,
And then Taylor Port Lies says this is so helpful.
mhm,
And then Tammy agrees, fix those kids' plates.
mhm.
And then Ronnie says she's exhausted just listening. She's glad she doesn't have guests other than her family here at home. Ronnie, it can be exhausting.
It
And
can be.
I can get pretty tired when I'm hosting, but
Mhm,
I've learned to ask for help and not to do everything myself, and really just switching over to disposable um, plates and cups and napkins. Well, not
mhm.
cups, but utensils and plates has helped a lot.
Mhm.
Has just
It
really helped a
does.
lot.
It does.
Oh,
It
and here's
really
one of your newlyweds.
Oh!
He's cooking things
Oh!
for the two.
Yay!
Well,
Oh,
Terry,
that's
listen,
wonderful, Terry.
I think that's wonderful too. And I always encourage my young homemakers like
Mhm,
yourself and even Tammy, who's got Tamara Duncan Party of
mhm,
Six with her little,
mhm,
have a small Thanksgiving at home or a small
mhm,
holiday meal, just you and your immediate family, just
mhm.
so you guys can just continue to bond and begin to build your own traditions. Even if you're going out to your folks for dessert or whatever, have
Mhm,
something, begin that tradition of having something for just
mhm.
the two of you and your immediate family when you get some littles along the way.
That's right. That's right. I always, always, no matter if we went to the in-laws for whatever the holiday was, I always had my dinner cooked. And
Mhm.
then that way we would come home on that Saturday or Sunday afterwards. We'd have our own little celebration.
Mhm.
So it's nice. It's nice to be able to do that. And
And
plus,
it's nothing worse than not having leftovers.
I know that's always good.
Yeah, let's see what
Um,
else. So Hillary says, being a Sunday school teacher, she's always thinking about the kiddies. So she has a little activities and crafts for them to have something. Yeah. And
mhm,
Leona did mention that earlier. Have something for those little people to work on too.
mhm.
So Taylor is going to be deep cleaning her oven.
Okay.
Yes. So Sally, it would be if you know that someone's not feeling
Mhm,
well, or you've got an older adult and you
mhm,
want to be extra nice, let them have a
mhm.
seat and say, you know what, we'll fix your plate and bring it to you. What would you like?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's gracious.
Hmm. Nanny says clean top to bottom and left and right.
That's right.
All right, let's see. Yeah, no nasty oven. Well, Taylor says, what do you recommend cleaning your fridge with? You know what? You're going to clean your fridge with very simple materials, soap and
Mhm,
water or
mhm,
vinegar. You don't want to put any of that fancy smelling cleaner products
mhm,
in your
mhm.
refrigerator, because if you do, you get that smell in there, you can't get it out, and then it gets in your
True.
food. So you're just going to use basic soap and water, like dish soap and
Absolutely.
water, or you
Mhm,
can use vinegar, like a vinegar
mhm.
cleaning or something like that. But that's
Mixture. Mhm. Yeah, I use a vinegar and Dawn
it.
with water diluted.
That's what I do too. And I
Mhm.
like the blue dawn. I don't know why. Even though the clear dawn
Blue
is
Dawn is the
plain,
best there is.
I use the blue
Absolutely.
dawn. Okay. And yes, you got to have room to store those leftovers. So get the fridge
That's right.
ready. Soul Food Catering. Hey, you're new to our channel.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you so much.
how
And tell us
nice.
your name. Wow, we're getting some new people here tonight.
Mhm.
So Tamara says, being the only child with the only grand, she feels guilty for wanting to keep it just us. Well, see, Tam, this is what you do. You're going
Mhm,
to have a little something just for you and your
mhm,
four children, I believe. But
mhm,
on the day of Thanksgiving itself, you're going
mhm,
to go to grandma's and you're going to go to the other grandma's. So maybe you go to one for dinner and one for dessert. That's when you're going away from home. But
mhm.
either the day before or the day after, Duncan Party of Six is having a nice little celebration, just the six of you.
All their own.
Mhm,
Absolutely.
mhm.
Absolutely. Oh.
So Char's going to tackle her freezer this week.
Mhm.
And let's see, her fridge, not her. She says her fridge, not her friend.
Oh, oh, okay.
And then how do you keep the gravy and mashed potatoes piping hot? I have so many dishes to prepare. Sometimes it's hard to make sure the gravy, potatoes, and rolls are very hot. Were
I
you going
use
to take
I
that?
use a crock pot for mine. The potatoes are in a crock pot and the gravy's in another crock pot. I have 2 different sizes, so I use the smaller one for the gravy
Mhm,
and, of course, the regular size for, the mashed potatoes, because typically when you have mashed potatoes, you're gonna need a ton, and
mhm.
so, that's a good place to be able to keep them warm and just put it on warm, and they really do stay nice and warm.
I was going to say crock pots as well. Sometimes you can get those that you get like there's three in a row, but they're
Mhm,
small, and you
mm,
can put dishes in there and have them up there. Or if you want the table to look a little bit more fancy, then
mhm,
put them in put a small amount in a dish, like maybe a serving bowl that holds
mhm,
enough for like maybe 10, and then
mhm,
just refill it as need be. But
mhm.
they're not going to be in there that long. So
No,
once you set it on the counter and then people start fixing their plates and stuff, it won't be there that long. I don't
mhm,
think there's a way to keep the rolls hot. I think once those rolls come out of the oven, out of the
that's
oven, you put them in the basket, and then once that cloth is open and people start
mhm,
serving themselves,
mhm.
there's nothing you can do. Just make sure the butter is soft so they can spread it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I have tried one year, I put the smaller crock, I put a napkin in the crock and then put the rolls inside. But you can't put the top on it because if you do, then the rolls start to get a little moist. But
Mm-hmm.
you can sit them in there and they will stay warm. You just keep it on low and they're not hot, but they stay warm.
Now say that again.
Okay, get your crock pot, the what is it, 3 quart, the little
Mm-hmm.
smaller size. Put your like a nice napkin or a kitchen towel,
Mm-hmm.
put that down in there, put the rolls in there, and then you can just kind of flap the towel over it
Mm-hmm.
and until everybody's ready to eat. And then open it up and the rolls will stay warm. While they
Okay.
won't stay hot, they will stay warm. Mhm.
Okay, I like that idea. I'm just learning all
Mhm.
kind of new things. Okay. Now, Vicky says she wants to buy some collards before they're
Mhm.
gone, but want them to remain fresh for Thanksgiving. How soon is too soon to buy a few bushels of collard greens? Girl, what you gonna be doing with
What
a
are
few
you
bushels
waiting
of
on?
greens? Are you fixing food for the U.S. Army? Because a few bushels of collard greens, that's a lot of collards. You're gonna have to
It
freeze those
is.
puppies.
It is. And I do mine at like in September and get them all cleaned and washed and all cut, put them into freezer bags and put them in the freezer. And then now's the time when I'll actually cook them and they're ready to go. Because
Mhm.
that's just one of those things. They're going to be fine and they're going to taste amazing when you bring them out. They're going to taste just like you brought them out because you're not going to overcook them. So you just have to warm them up and they're ready to go. Collards are very forgiving.
Yes, they are. And if you're getting a few
Mhm.
bushels, you're gonna want to get those cleaned, picked,
Oh,
cleaned, and then blanched and put in that freezer.
mhm,
And then the
mhm,
ones you're serving for the holiday, um, like set out a couple bags for
mhm,
that, and you could either go ahead and cook them completely, or again
mhm,
just blanch them and
mhm.
then cook them a couple days beforehand.
Yeah,
So,
because you really don't want that smell of the collards in the house,
oh yeah.
and, so it's nice to have them already cooked and ready to go.
Oh, Taylor, you're welcome. She's thanking us,
Oh,
homemaker, so you're quite welcome. Uh, You can also clean your fridge with warm water and baking soda. Yes, I
that's
forgot to
true.
mention that, but
Mhm,
baking soda is another good option for a good natural option for cleaning.
mhm.
It doesn't leave any odor,
That's true.
which is what you want. You don't want to use like Pine Sol or
Oh,
use
no.
Myers lilac or anything like that.
Mm-mm.
So Ronnie says she always has Thanksgiving dinner with her family and then visit extended family for dessert. Okay.
Mm.
Okay, let's see where we are on our list. So we were looking at
We did the refrigerator.
we did the refrigerator.
Mhm.
And so we've done the kitchen, we've done the dining room, living room. Let's see. Probably we're going to want to get to we did the microwave.
Mhm.
So the next is going to be the bathrooms. And I think the bathrooms are really important because
Mhm.
everybody goes in the bathroom several
Mhm.
times a day. And so your main bathroom, this is going to be about the week before Thanksgiving. Wipe down your shower surround and clean the bathtub. Clean the
Mhm.
sink, the countertops, set out a new bar of soap, new tube of toothpaste, and an extra toothbrush. Have a can of shaving cream handy if needed, and then clean the toilet. And also, you want to put in a fresh roll of toilet paper
Mhm.
and do that. And then if you've got a couple of bathrooms, like the main bathroom, I might do that upstairs.
Mhm.
For us, it's
Mhm.
upstairs, so I'll do that one, get that one all cleaned up. But then the day before, you can just do a quick hit and a lick in there, and it's still be in good shape.
Mhm. But the guest bathroom, the one that you know your guests are going to use, that one you're gonna wanna touch up. You do your hard clean early,
Mhm.
but then you're gonna wanna touch it up just before, the guests come, and make sure that you have extra rolls of toilet paper because invariably, I don't care what you do in advance, you're going to run out of toilet paper in the middle of the day.
Mhm.
And so have a couple of, rolls of toilet paper, air freshener, and check the soap and all those kind of things in the
Yeah,
bathroom.
exactly. And if you've got a guest bathroom that the family doesn't have to use, you could clean that bathroom early, do
Hmm.
all the things in it that you would want to do, and then shut the door and dare the family to go in there. This bathroom is off limits, or either get like that police tape and tape across the door so you cannot go in here, because you don't want to have to clean in there again.
That's
If you
right.
get it all cleaned up and freshened up, everything's ready to go, then probably the only thing you would need to do before the guests get there is just switch the toilet again, because of course, the
Mhm.
toilet needs to be flushed regularly to keep that ring from in there. So definitely you'll want to do that. But for those of you just joining us, welcome to Homemaking with Purpose. I am your host, Denise Jordan, and with me as co-host is my sister, Leona Dooley from Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme in the Kitchen. And we are giving you some ideas on how you can prepare your home for the Thanksgiving holiday without feeling overwhelmed and making yourself crazy. And we're
Mhm.
also going to answer any questions that you may have as we're going through. So, and then as always, this episode of Homemaking with Purpose is brought to you by Apron Diva. And pretty and practical, we believe that an apron can be a homemaker's best accessory. So do visit us at www.aprondiva.com.
I like that apron you have hanging back there. I have one at my house. I can't wait to get in my little gingerbread.
Oh, oh yeah, that's the one we call ginger. That's one of our
Mhm,
best sellers. Yes, that's
mhm,
the best one. I love that one for Christmas. That's one of my favorites. So okay, so we talked about the family room, move furniture around as needed, and that was one of the things that I had to learn was to move furniture around as needed,
mhm,
because remember, it's only temporary. Move
mhm.
it aside, put it in the garage, put it in another room, but move furniture as needed for the day, and then you can always bring things back
That's
when
true.
they need to be. And if you need extra seating, get that at least the week before Thanksgiving. And when you're making that list on day one on your planning and thinking day, if you're
Mhm,
going to need extra chairs, put them on the list, decide where it is you're going to get them from. And
mhm.
then, Leona, you talked about borrowing chairs. So I'll let you handle that.
Absolutely. We talked about borrowing last week, where if you have a neighbor who may be going out of town, ask them if you can borrow their chairs, if you need additional chairs, and just take care of them, and you'll bring them back. But also, Sue had given an idea that was a great thought of giving perhaps one of your guests who may have maybe young
Oh,
and doesn't cook.
mhm.
So if they don't cook, well, put them responsible for finding some extra chairs. And so that gives them the option. Of course, we also mentioned churches very often will loan you chairs, or even fire departments. You can
Mhm.
go and at some of them, and you can get additional chairs. But if you're going to a place like church or a fire department, you do need to make those arrangements early,
Yes,
so that and pick them up early, because they may not be open on that day. So don't wait till that day.
right. So make that plan ahead of time. So if you need extra
Mhm,
chairs, you know where they're going to be. You know where you're going to get them.
mhm,
Okay, and then we talked about setting up the beverage station. That's going to happen on day 19, I think,
mhm,
which is 3 days prior to Thanksgiving, is
mhm,
setting up that beverage station. And as I mentioned earlier, you could have the whole station completely set up, the punch bowl, where you want to put the ice, where you want to put the glasses, have everything ready to go, and
mhm,
just drop a towel, or not a towel, but a tablecloth or a sheet
mhm,
over it, so that it stays fresh. You don't have to worry about any dust getting in it. Now, if you've got little ones and you have to worry about them pulling on things, that's a different story.
mhm.
But if
Right.
you don't have that concern, then
Mhm,
you can just drop a little towel over it or something like that, and that'll just help you keep things out and just have things ready to go to help save you some time. And then as you're setting up that beverage station, some things to think about. If you're going to have punch, your punch bowl, whatever, if you're going to do soda or pop, as we call it here,
Mhm.
figure out how you're going to have the cans and all that set up.
Mhm.
Where's the ice going to be? Are you going to have a cooler
Mhm.
close by? You can actually sit the cooler on the floor close by if that's what you plan to do, just so you can get an idea as to how things are going to look. And then think about the special needs for your family members that are coming.
Mhm.
You need tumblers, some that are plastic for the little ones,
Mhm.
cups. What do you need to have for those children? And then if you have older children, is there anything in particular you need to have for them?
For
And,
them. Mhm.
and if you're serving coffee or tea, what kind of
Mhm.
sweeteners do you need?
Absolutely, absolutely. And try to have a variety of teas if you're going to have teas, and maybe a setup where you'd have a little box that has a variety of teas, maybe has some little honey sticks or even a bottle of honey.
Mm-hmm.
And so that you have they have the option of what they might like to drink. And I know you have a water, what do they call it? Teapot, an electric teapot.
Yes,
They can
electricity
warm the water pretty quickly. I have that as well. And it sits on the bar so that we can turn it on very quickly. Um, or if you have a a Keurig and a
kettle.
coffee pot combination, you have those options as well. But it's something else you can do. As far as the punch is concerned, you don't have to wait until that day to put most of your punch together. If you have any freezer space, you can get one of those 2-gallon bags, Ziploc bags. Put the punch together in there, everything except like your ginger ale, if you're going to add ginger ale to it, and put everything else in there, put it in the freezer, or put it into a container that is somewhat shaped like your punch bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way it molds that way. That way you can take it out early, let it come to room temperature, put your ginger ale on top, and it's ready to go. But it's cold to begin with. So you're not using quite as much ice when your
Idea.
guests are, picking up their drinks. You can let them know it's already cold. Hmm.
You could put that punch once you've got it made in like a big plastic bowl,
Hmm.
freeze
Hmm.
it like that,
Hmm.
and then put it in put some saran wrap or something over the top, or put a plate
Hmm.
over it,
Hmm.
and
Or
then
put
turn
this
it
top
over
on it.
and run some
Hmm.
water over the bottom of the bowl, and then
Hmm.
you can just lift the bowl right off the top and just
Yep.
slide it into that punch
Ready
bowl.
to go. Hmm.
I like that idea. I never would have thought of that.
Yeah, then you just
That's
pour
another
the ginger
bowl.
ale over it.
Yes, I like
Yeah.
that idea. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a great idea. And let's see what's we got going on over here. So Shar says her and her daughter switch off one year. One will host Thanksgiving, and then
Mhm.
the next year somebody else will do Christmas, and they switch off so they don't get overwhelmed. I get that.
Okay. Mhm.
Tammy cooks her rolls and potatoes last, and I will pop my
Mhm.
rolls in the oven last too
Mhm. Me too.
when I bring them out.
Mhm.
But Nita says she puts her rolls in the oven right before everybody sits down. So after
Mhm.
grace, they're about ready to put on the table. I like that
Mhm.
idea too.
Mhm.
And people are loving your idea about putting the rolls in the crock pot to help keep them
Mhm.
warm.
Keeps them warm.
Let's see. And then Tammy says preparing the top collard and turnips beforehand is a great idea.
Mhm.
Oh, shoot. Natasha says, how far in advance should you prepare pies? Girl, you can make them pies as far in advance as you want to. My
Absolutely.
daughter-in-law has a bakery business. She will make pies weeks in advance and have them in the
Mhm.
freezer and then take them out and thaw them out when she needs to. So yeah,
Yep. Yep.
make them on
Wrap them
yours and
well.
pop them puppies in the freezer.
Yeah. Yeah. I even get them from Sam's or Costco's and bring them home, wrap them up, and put them in the freezer. So
Mhm.
they're, if I don't want to, if something I don't want to prepare.
Oh, so now Nanny says she has a Walgreens closet where she keeps spare toiletries just for her guests. I like that idea.
Ah,
Spare
that's
toiletries
nice.
for your guests, then you can kind of
Mhm.
pull those things out. So, okay.
I like that.
So, Joy says that she's hosted several times and she's usually wiped out. She's getting ideas to help her plan ahead to enjoy the day. Thank you.
Good,
I'm glad we're being
good, good.
helpful. Oh, I love my electric tea kettle.
Oh,
I
I know.
Ooh, how would I respond to picky eaters or family friends who are gluten-free, vegetarian, or vegan? I'll let you start that one, Leona.
This is the time to graciously say, um, you know, I just those are dishes that I don't prepare, but I would love for you to bring one that we can share.
Mhm.
And typically, there's enough uh, salads and greens and green beans, so you've got some things that are there. Gluten free wise, you may just have to ask them to bring a few things with them, and they shouldn't be offended. They shouldn't be offended. Now, this year I'm in kind of that little crack, but I plan to go. I'm going to take my vegan dish with me, and so I will be serving some dishes that are plant based. And I try to do it anyway. My daughter's gluten free. So I have regular rolls and I have gluten free rolls. And I buy the gluten free rolls. But I do, because I know they're there. I try to accommodate to a point, but I don't buy a lot because I don't want those things left over, or I will send them home with them. So the options are, if they're vegan or vegetarian, you may talk to them and say, okay, what is it that, when you prepare the greens, you might, you'll have to decide whether you want to prepare your greens with turkey, smoked turkey or not. And you can certainly do the greens and have them tasty without the meat. But for those who are diehards, they're going to want to see some meat. And so it may certainly be one of those things where, you're just going to have to ask them, would you please bring something that your family will enjoy?
Mhm.
Because for that one day, I'm going to be honest with you, it's not going to hurt me, and it probably won't hurt them unless it's a gluten issue. Then in the case of gluten, then, just ask them, okay, would you mind bringing the gluten-free rolls?
Absolutely, because I tell you what, picky eaters, I am not going there with you today.
No.
Thanksgiving, I'm going to prepare Thanksgiving dinner.
Mhm, mhm,
However, if you are vegan or vegetarian or gluten
mhm,
free, if you need gluten free, if I know that ahead of time,
mhm,
and I don't know what I would do differently for a gluten free meal. Maybe
mhm,
I might get a plant based butter or something like.
mhm, mhm,
But
mhm,
for example, when I'm making the greens, like I have one son who is mostly vegetarian.
mhm,
He will eat chicken and turkey now because his wife got
mhm,
tired of cooking vegan
mhm,
all the time.
mhm.
But he doesn't eat any pork at all.
Okay.
So if I'm going to make greens or something like that, I would either season them with turkey, smoked
Mhm,
turkey,
mhm,
or I would use vegetable broth. But I don't use
mhm.
any pork or anything like that on the days that I know him and his family are coming to
Yes.
have a dinner with us. And he will
Mhm.
even ask, like, what's in there? And I said, that's
Right.
turkey or that's chicken.
Yeah.
And if I know he's coming, my husband will make some salmon or some kind of
Mhm,
dish specifically for him.
mhm,
He
mhm.
can hold the problem, because then everybody else might say, well, hey, can I have some salmon? I'm like, no,
Absolutely.
we
No,
try
that's for
not to
him.
do that if we can. But
Yeah.
for the most part, I'm just going to make what I need to make. You
Mhm,
bring what you choose to
mhm.
bring, and then you can serve yourself from what's available. I'm not going to worry
Yeah.
about no picky eater kids or whatever. And I also,
Mhm.
a lot of times, like my granddaughter, sometimes, I mean, my daughter-in-law will be getting after her little grands, like, you need to eat some of this. I'm like, look, it's the holiday. Let them eat what they want to eat today.
Right.
Like of
Right.
all days of the year, And, just let them pick what they want to eat and just
Mhm.
let them eat that, because we don't want them
Mhm.
upset and crying and upsetting everybody else on the holiday.
Oh, I know. Oh,
So
I
let them have
know.
what they want to have for the
Mhm.
holiday. You got 6 other days of the week to make sure
Mhm.
they're eating properly. I don't
Absolutely.
worry about what they're eating on the holiday. Let them eat
No,
what they want to eat, because they're
no.
only going to come around once or twice a year.
Mhm. Well, even macaroni, when I do macaroni and cheese,
Hmm.
we have a couple of friends and they're gluten free. So what I do is that I know that I purchase gluten free pasta for macaroni. So when I'm pouring the macaroni, I do a little dish for them and put it off to the side. And they know their dish is over there on the side, but everybody else's dish is out on the buffet. And so I do accommodate that part. But other than that, that's about as far as I'm going.
Hmm.
That's as far as it's going.
Okay. Let's see. Shar says, thank you for sharing this planning. She said, you
Aw,
can't get overwhelmed. Yeah, you
yes,
can.
you can easily.
So, Vicky says, when is it a good time to set the table? I'm planning to set the table first thing Thanksgiving morning. I know some set their tables a few days in advance. Well, that all depends upon how many people you have at your house and whether or not
Mhm,
and when you can get that table set. If the
mhm.
table that you're going to be eating dinner at is a table that you use every day, you're going to have to wait until close to time for dinner to do that.
Yeah.
But, if not, you can set it earlier. What do you say, Leona?
Mhm. Well, and that's true. You're absolutely right. Plus, if you have someone else there besides just you, then you can delegate. This is where you start to delegate and say, okay, I need the table set. And typically, if I'm going to do that, I already have the tablecloths in place, the tables are in place, the napkins are ready. I show them one setting of what I'd like for it to look like, and
Mhm.
then I turn it loose. Because the bottom line of it is, once everybody gets their plate, no one could care less other than me as to what the table looks like.
That's true.
And so, my two oldest grandkids know they're going to they will set the table if it's something, if it's one of those days where we're doing it at the last minute. Yeah.
Okay. So Shar says her grandson's a type 1 diabetic and has to count
Mm,
carbs.
mm,
They haven't had to change any dishes, but they do try to have a couple of things that are easy to count the carbs. But as for
mhm,
meat, he can have all of them. So,
okay,
yeah, you know what your family requirements are.
mhm,
And so you're doing the right thing to plan ahead so that
mhm,
he can easily count what he needs to have.
mhm. And you might even want to do that count ahead of time so that when he's going through the buffet, he knows, okay, I can have some of this, I can have some of this. And, and it's not oh, and you're standing over him and he starts to feel different because he's having to count the carbs.
I
He'll
want
know
you to
ahead of
back
time.
up and say that over again because I missed part of that, but I think that was an important
You know,
thing to say.
you might want to know what's going to be served that day and talk with him. These are the things you can have, and these, if you're going to have a taste of it, then only get a spoonful, and whatever it is. And then that way you've had the discussion. He knows exactly what he can eat that's on the buffet, and it's not an issue. And he won't feel different.
And I like the fact too when you said you don't have to stand over him and
Hmm.
then supervise what he gets. And that's what
Hmm.
they teach us in Weight Watchers is that to
Hmm.
plan ahead. It's like getting ideas to what you're going to eat so that you already know what you're going to get and you can
Hmm.
be more assertive and feel more empowered about what it is you choose. So
Absolutely.
you're empowering him to take
Mhm,
control of his eating when you help him think, okay, there's going to be turkey. You know, you don't have to worry about that. There's going to
mhm,
be dressing. Well, you might only be able to have a couple of spoons in that. There's going to
mhm,
be greens. You can have that, but there's going to be
mhm.
mac and cheese. Well, you might want to just have.
Just a little bit.
I
Mhm,
like that thought too.
mhm.
Yeah, that's a great way to approach it. Okay, let's see. Have we got everything? Oh, kids table. On day 20, which is 2 days prior to the holiday, you're going to get out the kids' table and get it set up. Now, you've already decided on day one, on planning day, where the kids' table is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
But the day before the holiday, especially if the kids' table say it's going to be in the family room, we put ours in the family room right next to the kitchen. So go ahead and get it out, get it wiped down,
Mm-hmm.
and then get the kids' table ready. Now, what I usually do for the kids' table is my husband will put brown paper, like
Mm-hmm.
packing paper or like a
Mm-hmm.
brown wrapping paper, and we'll put that over the table. And then he used to draw like turkeys and different things like that on there. And then the
Mm-hmm.
kids would color those. Well, then as my granddaughter got older and she's a little artist, he'll have her draw the different things on there. And then we would put out a bunch of like little bundles of crayons for each
Mm-hmm.
set, or we'll put like a little coloring book at each spot. So they
Mm-hmm.
can sit there and color and talk and do whatever they're doing while we're
Mm-hmm.
getting things ready. And you
Mm-hmm.
can even put a couple of snacks out there, Leona. I know you
Absolutely.
put out like little appetizers for the little ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to do that. And I think it's important to plan ahead for those little ones.
That's true. That's true. And you need to know kind of the age range, because I know in our house it goes from 17 down to 5.
Mm-hmm.
So, the 17-year-old loves helping the rest. So
Mm-hmm.
that makes it nice because you kind of have a little supervision at the table, and he doesn't mind sitting with the kids and having fun with them. And really, to some point, he really entertains them. And so that helps to keep them going while mom and dad are getting the plates ready and bringing them to
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then on the day of the holiday,
them.
put on your holiday apron, dress
Hmm.
your kitchen table, and then do
Hmm.
a final walkthrough just to make sure all is as it should be. And then
Hmm.
enjoy your day. And
Hmm.
see, if you take this day by day step, you don't make yourself crazy. And the reason why it's broken up is so that you don't get overwhelmed. Like Ronnie said, she was tired already just listening to us. But if you do it little by little, particularly once you start to get a few years on you, it's
Hmm.
hard getting all that done in 2 or 3 days.
That's true. That's true. And you're exhausted. You're totally exhausted. One thing I mentioned at lunchtime was the fact that you're probably going to want, and I would suggest the night before your holiday, whether it's Thanksgiving, whether it's Christmas, that's a good time to get to go into the bathroom, whatever time it is, fill that tub up with
Mhm.
water and have a Calgon moment
Mhm.
and just
Countdown, take
relax.
me away.
Yes, and have a Calgon moment, just and
Mhm.
relax. And then that way, when you get up the next day, you're refreshed and you have a chance throughout the day to do whatever you need. I typically take about an hour before everybody comes. That's my time to go get a quick shower. The clothes are already laid out, jump into a clean set of clothes, put some makeup on quick, and I'm ready to go when people come in.
Mhm.
So then you're the hostess with the mostest when they walk through
Yeah.
that door, and you're not looking like you're ready to grab the broom and take it out on everybody. So let's try to think of yourself in
Yeah.
all of this, and that's really what this is all about: is being able to prepare your home, prepare the family, but also think about yourself
Preparing
and
yourself.
because it can be overwhelming.
Yeah. So Shar says she likes the brown paper idea. You can get that brown paper at Michael's or
Mhm,
at Hobby Lobby, back where they have the rolled art paper. You can get it back
mhm,
there, and it's
mhm.
pretty inexpensive.
It
Or
is.
you can use gift wrap. Like I buy this
Mhm,
kind of a brown gift wrap that has like holiday scenes on it. You
mhm,
could get something like that as well. And let's see. I
mhm,
think so. Tammy says she's getting older and it can be exhausting. Yes, Tammy, it can.
mhm,
It can.
mhm,
And then Sally says for new homemakers, ask guests to bring something is to tell them you want to build traditions and
mhm.
want their dish to be a part of it.
Wow, I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. Their
So that's
signature dishes.
another way to say it. I like
Mhm. I
that.
like it.
Like that. Said Kroger has bought everybody, so everybody have a Kroger. I don't know. Could you use butcher paper for the kids' table? Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, butcher paper
Mhm.
is white. So
Mhm.
you just have to, but now wax crayons can typically, yeah, they can mark on there because when the
Mhm.
butcher writes on the paper
Mhm.
and tell you what's in there, yeah, butcher paper is fine. Just
Mhm.
spread it out, tape it
Mhm.
down so that it doesn't like slide around and you're good to go. So yeah, that's
Absolutely.
good.
Mhm.
So again, for those of you who joined us late, I am Denise Jordan, your host. With me is Leona Dooley from Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme in the kitchen, and we are sharing tips to help you get your home ready for the Thanksgiving holiday or whatever holiday you have coming up and not make yourself crazy.
Absolutely.
And so we've gone through the 21 days to prep your house. And so if you missed that, please catch the replay so that you can check us out. So our question to you is, what are you going to do differently now to prep your home for the holiday? Let us know. If you're here live, tell us in
Mhm.
the chat. If you're in the replay tribe,
Mhm.
then tell us in the comment section. What are you going to do to prep your home for the holiday without making
Mhm.
yourself crazy?
This has been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly, this document that Denise has is wonderful. And if you follow it, I'm telling you, it really helps you to get everything in place and get your home ready for the holiday. And
Mm-hmm.
let's face it, today is the first. So
Right.
we're working.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Because Friday is November 3rd, and that's exactly 21 days until the holiday, because
That's
Thanksgiving
right.
is November 24th this year. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you want to be thinking about what you're going to be doing and
Mhm.
to get yourself ready for it.
Absolutely.
And let your family help you, particularly like Tam with your little ones. Let your
Mhm.
kids get excited and let them help you do things as well. They
Mhm.
can help put some decorations out, or they can help make pies. They can do some fun things so that they look
Mhm.
forward to the holidays.
Yep. Yep.
Let's see what we got. So Sherry's going to start getting ready earlier. So yes,
Good.
definitely
Good.
start getting ready earlier. So Tammy's going to clean and freeze those collards.
Yes, ma'am. That's the way to go.
And Nanny says it's just her husband and herself. So she started shopping early, picking up most of those Thanksgiving pantry staples tomorrow.
Mhm.
And I will say that um, right now, many of those pantry staples are on sale. So let
Mhm.
me just see. I did find the Kroger weekly ad just because that's where I shop. So I look for them first. But you can
Okay.
see all the things that Kroger has on sale. And they have turkeys for 98 cents a pound, for 99 cents a pound right now.
Mhm.
But you are limited to one turkey at the sale price.
Okay.
But here's the other thing that I kind of noticed when I was looking at this ad. Let me make sure I didn't go by it too fast. So some of those staples, those things that we normally get, um,
Mhm.
like you've got your cream of mushrooms and cream of chicken
Mhm.
soups, that kind of thing. They've got them 99 cents each right now, which is
Yes.
on sale. And
Mhm.
you've got like gravy and green beans and those kinds of things,
Mhm.
49 cents each, which is definitely down because those had been higher. So we've got sale there. Now, this is same with card. So you got to
Yeah.
have a Kroger shopper's card to be able to get those prices. As you go down, they've also got their
Mhm.
digital deals. So be sure to get those digital deals put on your card.
Absolutely.
I
Mhm.
always have to get one of the Kroger people to help me figure that out. But then when I go through the line, I'm able to get it. And look at here, a half of a bundt cake for
Oh, I
3.99.
know.
So you can buy.
3.99.
They've got eggs on sale.
Mhm.
And then I was looking at there's tissue, but there's coffee, 4.99 for
Mhm.
this coffee,
Mhm.
and then stuff for other, other things. But where was the
Mhm.
look at here? Chicken broth, 79 cents
Yeah.
a can is for Swanson, and then
Mhm.
some other things that you might need. But
Did you see too, they have a gluten-free option right there in the corner? They've got a gluten-free option. Looks like for their macaroni and cheese, that is a pot. Yes, right there.
Oh, okay.
And that's Annie's, and that's
Okay, that's a
gluten-free.
gluten-free option.
Mhm,
Okay, I didn't know that because that's
mhm.
not something that I typically look for. But it was just interesting to just kind of look at this ad because a lot of
Mhm,
times I don't particularly look for it. But I noticed though that some of the gravy and different things that I like to
mhm,
get, I was looking at the prices, and prices
mhm.
are definitely up just a little bit in some
Just
items.
a
However,
little.
turkeys are down in price.
Yes.
Look here, the Heinz gravy, which I like to get, 2 for
Mhm,
$5. You can get the chicken broth, the stovetop,
mhm,
or the gravy, 2 for $5 with
mhm,
card. So one of these,
mhm.
they're like 2.50 each. Now,
That's
I'm
right.
gonna be making my own gravy this year.
Yeah, I
That's
do
just
mine.
and I usually will make my own, or I might buy a jar of the Heinz and then kind of zhuzh it up just a little bit.
Mhm, mhm.
But that's 2 for $5 there. And
Yeah.
then they've got the Kroger broth at a dollar
Mhm,
49 compared to 2.50 up there for the
mhm,
Swansons.
mhm.
And then there were some other cheaper items. So I
Mhm.
wanted to see those. And then here you can
Oh, yeah.
whole Thanksgiving dinner through
Mhm,
Home Chef. And there's like you can get prime rib, you can get bone-in turkey or ham, or the
mhm.
boneless Home Chef turkey or ham. So at different prices, you can get a meal for so many. Tells you how to do that, or you can make your own turkey.
Absolutely. I
So,
saw they had their, dishwashing liquid and dishwasher, pods on sale as well.
oh, I didn't even notice that. I guess I
Yeah,
wasn't
that
looking
was
for
up
it, but I
further.
need to. But they've got a little of everything. You got your
Mhm.
cheese. Oh, the other thing I noticed was that they put all the different holidays. So let me kind of slow down so you can see that. But I thought that was quite interesting. I had not noticed that before. So here we're getting ready for Thanksgiving. So you
Mhm,
see all the usual stuff,
mhm,
the different things that they have. You've got your
mhm,
gravies here, 49 cents with
mhm,
your cans, but then your weekly digital deals,
mhm.
and then more digital deals.
Uh-huh.
And then they talked about tailgating for
Tailgate.
Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
And then they talked about Diwali, like holiday
Mhm.
classics.
Mhm.
And then they talked about Diwali. Now, where was it? I just saw, oh, Happy Diwali, which
Uh-huh.
is an Indian, like
Mhm.
in India or Buddhist type
Mhm.
holiday.
Mhm.
So they're being very diverse. So they're bringing in Diwali,
Mhm.
and they even had
Got natural products.
down here. They've got the Day of the Dead, which is a
Yeah.
Hispanic traditional
Okay.
holiday, November 1st and 2nd.
Mhm.
I believe they honor people that have gone on. It's
Mhm.
not like Halloween, but it's more
Yeah.
like we're honoring people that have gone on. So
Mhm.
there's that. Um, And I thought, look at Kroger just kind of hitting up all the different
Mhm. Mhm.
holidays. But that makes sense since they plan and prepare food and sell food to everybody.
Right. Right.
So there's that one. And then I'm going to stop sharing this one and come back over here to Aldi because one of the girls had talked about Aldi
Mhm.
having
Yeah, Aldi's had their, turkeys, and, Walmart had their turkeys. The one I looked at was I was looking at a 25 pounder, was probably about 25, 26, which
yeah,
wasn't bad.
Walmart
Mhm.
has theirs 98 cents a pound. This
Mhm.
is Aldi, and they've got it looks like butter balls for a dollar
Mhm.
27 a pound. So
Mhm.
I thought that was pretty good because
That's
Kroger
not bad.
balls are a little bit higher than that.
Mhm.
So, depending upon where you go, people were talking about how to be able to save money on their holiday.
Mhm.
Turkeys are down this year in price.
Mhm.
So that's something that certainly can benefit you. So think about where it is that you might want to shop or where you can shop.
Mm-hmm.
So I think someone was saying not Giant Eagle. Ooh, turkey.
Giant. 79
We don't have
cents.
that, but that's pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
79 cents a pound. And then Carol got a nitrate-free ham from Aldi this
Mm,
week. So that's pretty good.
okay.
And then Mark H says that, well, he loves both of us ladies. Thank you.
Oh,
Army, they get access to the commissary. So, yeah,
oh, that's nice.
that is nice.
That's true.
So that's a way that people can save money, though. They can compare
Mhm,
ads and prices and all
mhm,
that kind of thing. So
mhm.
anyway, I think, Leona, you've told them how they can get a hold of your.
Absolutely. Go to my website, and I'll link it in my description box as well. It's there, and I'll make sure Denise has it so she can link it over in hers.
I'll put in the
And
description. Let me
we'll
look for
have
it real quick. Tell me what it is again, and I'll look for it real quick.
it. It's home.
I gotta bring up a screen first.
Yeah. Let's see if I can bring it up.
Okay, so where is it?
Okay, it's https:// Ebony, Ivy, Thyme with Leona Dooley .mailchimp mailchimpsites.com.
Is that right?
Hold on a second. I was looking at it from on the other page. Where are you?
HTTPS
Mm-hmm.
//
Uh-huh.
Well, I guess I should spell that right. Ebony.
Ebony-Ivy-Thyme-
Ebony dash
Ivy.
Ivy dash.
Yeah.
No and.
No. Mm-mm.
Time.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Is that right?
With dash. There's a dash in between all of them with
Did I
Leona.
put a dash or did I put an underscore?
No, it's dash.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
People, please bear with us. We're
And
almost there.
dot after Dooley dot
Okay, Ebony Ivy Time. Now, what goes next?
with Leona Dooley
With Leona Dooley
dot mailchimpsites.com.
.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, looks like I didn't get it in there quite
Okay.
right.
I'll try to type it in down here.
Okay, so
Yes.
I didn't do that quite right, but you guys, please do check out her website so that you can see that. So Hillary says, for the chef, do yourself a favor and wear light clothing, no winter clothes, or you'll be sweating a lot. Yeah, you can be, and you guys have noticed I've been like, so yeah, I get it. Okay. Oh, thank you. Natasha says we're both beautiful and phenomenal. Thank you so
Oh,
much
how
for the
sweet.
discussion. You guys join us next week when we talk about how to, like, what to do first, second, and third. We're just going to put it all out there and help you get that dinner planned. So there we go. I can't.
And to get my newsletter, just shoot me an email and I make sure that you're on the list. And that's down in the description box as well.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We have certainly been on much longer than I intended for us to. And we will see you next week. And so good night. Leona, stay right there, and I'll see the rest of
Okay.
you guys
Good
later.
night, guys. Good night.